Alright, we're going to give this edge banding another go. It has just warmed up and turned on. We've been roasting in front of the fireplace for about an hour now. I think the banding's warm. All of the stuff back here feels warm. It's still cold in the garage. It was 40, it's bumped up to 50. So we're going to try just one edge, and if that doesn't work, we'll let it roast a little bit more in front of the fire and see if we can't make this thing work reliably. The problem that I'm having is the banding goes on, it sticks to the wood, but by the time it gets over here, it's cold, and it doesn't have enough meltiness to stick to the actual banding itself. So I just touched this and I realized it's cold too, so I might hit that with the heat gun just to get some warmth into it, and quit saying so much. We'll give her a shot. So on second thought, I'm gonna let it sit here for a little bit longer. It needs a little bit more warmth in the machine. Plus I want this glue pot to have some time to marinate in its heatiness. We can see down there it's not fully melted in the pot, so there's not a whole lot of heat in the glue yet. So even though it's at temperature, I'm gonna let it get a little more saucy in there. Okay, here we go. A little bit of glue here. I think I can lower the trimmer heads just a bit to shave off just a bit more. Now the true test comes in, will it peel off? Will it? Ah, son of a bitch. Or is that just, I think that's the felt on the back of the banding. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh. Let's try this again. Still same result. Alright, got a new thing for flush cutting. Give this a try. It works okay. It's not perfect. And run this to clean it up. It needs to trim more. But I think I was a little too harsh on peeling that off. Well, no. Look at that edge. If I can peel it, then anybody can peel it. Huh. So this is okay, but this seems to be better. Blob of glue there. Didn't quite get that glue, so that needs a little touch up. The glue just kind of rubs off. My corners look like they need a little cleanup. Okay. Well, conclusion, heat helps. Heat certainly helps. Oh. That's not so good. I'm cutting a little too deep. Heat helps. Settings are a little inconsistent, and the quality not so great of the trimming. I think that quality has a lot to do with it needs new blades, and I might have adjusted them too much. So if we go out a little bit, I think it was this lower one that I just kind of went to town on. I'll go 936 and 931 on the top, and run another test. Okay, final verdict. Is the edge bander working? Is it worth keeping? Yep, it's working. Heat helps. Heat helps a lot. Did all 4 sides of this board. It's all sticking. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this do the rough cut on the sides, and then I'm gonna take it over here and I'll get my shaper set up. I was already playing around with this bit, and I'll do a final pass. I'll put another board here. I've got these taped down, CA glue and tape. But yeah, I'll let the shaper do the. I'm going to change a different bit. I'm going to get a 45-degree bevel, and actually I'm going to get an edge trimmer bit and replace this with a router collet. I probably shouldn't stick my finger in there when, you know, the power is on, but idiots never learn. In other news, I've got the piece to make the edge trimmers work. I sent this off to, actually, let me backtrack here. I found a guy on Facebook, a local machinist, and asked him if he'd be able to take my toothed pulley and my flange adapter, which this isn't my flange adapter. He ended up making this from scratch, and make this for me. And he did. And he did a good job. And that's going to go right in there. And then I got to measure and figure out what belt size I need. So that's next. Look at the pulley. I took it apart. Took the flange adapter off. And I'm going to use some thread lock when I bolt it back onto the flange adapter, which is over here on the motor. You can see I've already got my set screws in there, if it will focus, and some red Loctite, which I'll probably clean off the excess there because we don't want that flinging around everywhere. This adapter, the hole was, geez, the exact same diameter as the shaft. So in order to get it to fit on, I had to give it some heat, let it expand, tap it into place, and then put the set screws in, and she's in. Tightening the motor up, and these bottom screws, they're getting tight, but there's definitely a gap here. So I'm going to pull it out and see what's going on. Ah, obvious. Okay, so there's some set screws in here that control the angle of the motor. So that's why it wasn't lining up flush. And that means that this casting isn't perfectly flat. And I probably put this pulley on too far in. And we're gonna figure that out now. So I think we're gonna barely touch on this back end. I didn't realize that there was adjustment for that here. And we've got plenty of gap on the front, but not enough gap on the back. So I think I'll shim that with a couple pieces of paper. That should handle it. Alright, rather than paper, I used a couple pieces of tape. See if that works. Okay, everything's test fit. Now time to bolt the pulley to the flange. Really tight tolerance. Alright, here we go. Pulley's on. Looks like it spins pretty good. Let's see what happens when we turn it on. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, so it all spins this way. Now I need to measure, because I don't have a belt yet. I need to measure the length of belt that I need. And I'll order that, and we'll get to test again. Okay, I got a piece of string, wrapped it around, made some marks, and I'll measure the distance on the string. That should be my total belt length.